As you walked away, I called out your name. It was at that very moment I knew I would not be the same. You left me broken all alone, and now you will not pick up your phone. Did you think that would get me feeling down? No, that made me drive all around that old small town. Did you think I would drown in your pain? Hell to the no, let me explain. I drove up to that old dive bar on the corner of a new tomorrow. I thought I was going in to drink away my sorrows. Instead I danced the night away. Boom bopping, bar hopping, body rocking, foot stomping all night long. As you drove on by that old glowing neon sign, you see me walking in with someone new. You thought you left me broken and alone, waiting for me to pick up that damn phone. Did you think I would move on? It was a new day you left for me tomorrow. Hell to the no, let me explain. I drove up to that old dive bar on the corner of a new tomorrow. I thought I was going in to drink away my sorrows. Instead I danced the night away. Boom bopping, bar hopping, body rocking, foot stomping all night long. Instead I danced the night away. Boom bopping, bar hopping, body rocking, foot stomping all night long. Hell to the no, let me explain. I drove up to that old dive bar on the corner of a new tomorrow. I thought I was going in to drink away my sorrow. Instead I danced the night away. Boom bopping, bar hopping, body rocking, foot stomping all night long. Instead I danced the night away. Boom bopping, bar hopping, body rocking, foot stomping all night long.
I meant to hit my mic. Hey, small town girl, little Dev, moonshine girl. How are you guys this evening? So we've been covering all kinds of stuff, right? And I've been missing what's going on. But I seen that Ziggy posted some text messages last night. I was thinking the whole time reading them, does this make Fred look guilty? And hell yeah, they do. So I got curious about them, and somebody had sent me Cursed. I've been missing Cursed. And somebody sent me her live where she had a Mrs. Shipley on her channel. So I figured we'd go over that tonight. Thank you, little Dev. However, we're waiting for Twister. He said he might come up. He was unsure because there are some things he just cannot talk about. To me, it sounds like he's in talks with police. He feels he was set up for something. He's been in my chat really vocal about it, and I wanted to give him a chance to have the floor, and he's thinking about it. I don't know if he's going to come up or not, but the link is only for Twister. And for those of you that have been in here following, you've seen what's been going on in the chat with him. Twister, even if you don't want to come up, I understand completely. And when you're ready, I'm here waiting. However, you're always welcome to join the chat. You don't have to run or be scared or anything, just so you know. But if you'd like to come up, the link is there for you. Let me start it. I'm only going to allow Twister up at this moment. Maybe later, if somebody else wants to come up, you can. All right. Otherwise, let's read. I'm just going to shut the volume off, and I am going to read what I seen last night that made me go, huh? I can't see the chat when I'm reading. Hold on, we're going to wait for her to scroll up to the top. This is Tabitha Shipley. She has 12 mutual friends with Ziggy. I'm not going to name them. And then we see 9:10 p.m. We don't see anything else. A date. Hey, who did you haul the motorcycle for from my driveway? A message. You can now message with the encryption was broke. I don't know who he was. You and Tim was standing there helping him when I pulled in before I went and got the trailer and hauled it that day on the 15th. So this is Tabitha and Fred speaking with each other. Tabitha answers him, guys, you're going to roll your eyes if you haven't read these yet. No, we wasn't. Nobody went to the bottom of the hill to help except Tim. So this means, here's what I'm just going to say. Let me come to chat a minute. This whole thing tells us that Fred's been lying to us the whole time. This lady is pretty much, she's pretty much saying that what Fred's been telling us for the last 4.5 years is all false, and that what happened on the 13th and that somebody stole this bike and took it to Ben Hill Road, and then Fred showed up to pick the bike up from Ben Hill Road and take the bike back to Ben Hill Road where he told us he was taking it. However, he's saying he took this bike to Westside Motel, even though Jody Sue seen him come into the hauler with another bike that day. I would like to know what this bike looked like, because the original description, I believe, was blue, and I would like to ask Jody Sue what color the bike she saw was. Thank you, guys. Hey, Little Dev, don't share the Etsy because I'm having problems with my Printify. I don't know what my deal is. It keeps telling me I have to approve my account, and I did that, and now it's not working. He's from Rogersville. Yeah, that's what their bill is. Shipley is, yeah. Thank you for doing that for me, Little Dev. You're amazing. No, Tim is not Tim Mullen. It's just some guy that lives where where Ziggy was Fred, not Ziggy. Fred, you ever yell at your kids and you get all their names wrong? That's what I just did. Fred was going to haul the bike he's talking about on the 15th, but I can't see the chat. I'm going to go and read these. Okay. I don't know who he was. You and Tim was standing there helping him when I pulled in before I went and got the trailer and hauled it that day on the 15th. No, we wasn't. Nobody went to the bottom of the hill to help except Tim, and no, if Tim had been standing there, you wouldn't have even stopped. It wasn't down there at all. Yeah, me and Tim spoke to each other and stuff. He was asking Tim if he had to relay and stuff, and he knowed how to hook it back up between his fuel pump and stuff, and Tim told him no. He didn't know how or whatever, that he probably had some kind of security system on it, and that's when I asked him if he needed somebody to haul it, and he said, yeah. And I told him, hold on me, and I'll go get a trailer. Well, I know Tim was down there for sure. I was thinking you was down there, but I may be wrong about you being down there. I know Tim was down there for sure. I figured you and somebody still have your surveillance stuff up down there and got all of that on video. All of us stay there, that because I would like to know who that guy is. I didn't know him from Adam. I was just trying to be a decent person and help out, but he had me to take the bike to West Side Inn. She answers, I was standing on our porch. The guy told Tim that somebody on Ben Hill Road had stolen his motorcycle, and he went and got it back. There also was a gold-looking car there, too, with another guy in the driver's seat. The guy told Tim that somebody had stopped and was supposed to be coming back with a trailer. When that person came, it was you. You pulled off into our grass a little bit, and Tim told you to get out of our yard. You backed out of the road, and Tim got his jumper cables and came back up the driveway when you got there. Also, it wasn't June 15th, it was June 13th. That happened on Sunday, not Tuesday. Do y'all remember Dudley A. John saying Don came to work that Sunday and looked distraught? He sat on the toilet with his head down. That's the first thing I heard when I heard Sunday the 13th. That's the first thing that went through my head. All right. Freddie answers, do you think he could have had something to do with Summer going missing? Do you have surveillance of that day? If so, turn it into TBI. Tabitha answers, Fred, we both know that you and Tim have not got along for years. You literally shot him, and our 12-year-old daughter was going four-wheeling and passed your camper. But you and Tim didn't get along before that when you stopped down there. It was only the guy on the motorcycle and the guy in the car. So another guy Fred shot. That's what this lady said. And we're going to listen to her. She does an interview on Cursed. We're going to listen to her. It's a 2-hour interview. We probably won't get through all of it tonight. It might be a 2 or 3 part series here, but we're going to listen to her. He wrote, I've never shot at Tim. She wrote, that's why I'm asking you. The motorcycle was stolen from Kingsport, took to Ben Hill Road, and the guy found his bike and went and took it back from Ben Hill Road, and you lived on Ben Hill Road. Makes no sense. All I want to know is, do you have surveillance of that boy on the bike and then that gold Lexus? If so, I think it's critical in Summer's case. We can put our differences aside for Summer. She writes, I've talked to TBI in Hawkins County. Oh, so you do know exactly what kind of car it was? She didn't mention the kind of car. She mentioned the color. She put, this is for Summer. Because I have had this gut feeling that what happened that day led to what happened to Summer. Again, made me think of Dawn sitting on a toilet that day. It's sad that we live that close to those people and had no idea they even lived there. And he put, so do I. She puts on June 13th, 2021, not June 15th, 2021. Absolutely, positively, for sure of the date. Do you what Fred says? I feel like it's very important in Summer's case. I feel like it may be revenge. So is Fred saying someone from 110 Ben Hill Road stole the bike and that Fred had to go get the bike? Did you turn into footage of that? Please say you did. What I was saying, I hope you turn the footage into that. I feel like it's critical to Summer's case. She wrote, I have always thought it was drug debt or revenge. And I think the day of the motorcycle being hauled is a part of what led to what happened. When I asked him where to take the bike to first, he said Mall Next Drive. I told him I didn't know where Monique's Drive was, and he said, well, can you take it to West Side Inn? I said, sure. Molinex Drive. I'm using speech to text. I'm sorry about some of the misspelled shit. And on he talked about he had traded that bike to his father for a Toyota truck. And his father's supposed to live in Duffield. I talked to law enforcement TBI about it, but they didn't act interested. Really, Fred? She writes, this is definitely not Fred, it's Ziggy. You forgot that I'm a country bumpkin too, and we don't speak the same language. He put, no, it's Fred, and then sent her a voicemail. I'm going to say it's his voice. Then he writes, I'm using speak to text right now, and I've got somewhat of a cold and everything. Don't come out right. My backer's ass slang too. Just speak to text is set up for Yankees. She writes, West Side and one, they best known drugs. Anything else places red flags, dude. So where else can I drop your bike is what I would have said. But I was clean at the time and you wasn't. Fred puts right. Nothing toward your recovery because I have been there, and even though we don't get along, good luck with that. He writes, but see, when I come out through there when they was there, I thought it was Junior Light that was standing there because he favored Junior a lot. That's one reason I stopped to help see if he needed help because I thought he was Juanita's car he was driving. You thought Junior Light was riding a motorcycle? She says, I don't know about Junior riding no bike. No, I was talking about the boy that was driving the car that was there with the boy that was on the bike. I thought he looked like Junior is the reason I stopped. Are you talking about JR or Junior? He writes, Juanita's son, Junior. The one that was in a bad wreck, I was like, when I seen it, that boy, I was like, how in the hell is that? Junior, it looks just like him, but ain't. He's still in bad shape. There's what I was telling Laura. So you're still talking to Laura, Fred. That's odd to me. Let me come check chat. Hi, Visa Marriage. Yes, you're welcome here, Snow Angel. You never wasn't welcome. I'm just a little confused by your behavior towards me, but whatever. Don didn't show up to work on Sunday. No, he didn't show up on Monday. Delta, I'm pretty sure that's what Dudley said. Let me write it down. We'll look it up for tomorrow. Dudley said what? He didn't show up Sunday, then he showed up Monday and he looked distraught. He had his head on a toilet, I thought is what he said. I could be wrong, Delta Dawn, but I'll double check it. I wrote it down. We'll go over it tomorrow. Just to be sure. And hello. Ziggy definitely knows for sure what a liar her husband is. Just saying. I like your cup, Crystal. Thank you. It's a Stanley cup. Look, I wrote CZ on it and paint marker. You know what? I love this cup. It is, my maiden name is Stanley. So when I get a Stanley cup, I think it's like, hey, and I'm from Pittsburgh. We have the Penguins, the Stanley Cup. You know?
I think yours is right. So
Yeah. Oh. Junior is my son's uncle. I saw him at work one day. He acted like he didn't know me. Was it before or after his accident, Moonshine Girl? What kind of shape is he in? A nice beer cup. I have my beer cups downstairs. I do have a couple cool ones. When we were younger, our friend group had this big, huge cup. And it said, I bet you can't. Is that what it said on it?
Yeah.
Like college age. I didn't go to college, but college age.
Yeah, whoever drank it, chugged it, they got it.
Your favorite fire or moonshine? Jody Sue gave me the name CZ. But anyways, we had this big cup and it said, I bet you can't. And all of our friends used to pass it around, and whoever could drink the whole cup got to keep the cup till somebody can beat them in the championship. The cup went around for a couple years. It was pretty cool. I don't know. Best beer cup we ever had, I guess.
240s.
240s. Is that what fit in it?
Yeah,
240 ounces, and you had to chug the whole thing. I never even attempted.
Yeah, you'll puke.
I would have puked.
Yeah,
Everybody puked. Who won? Who won the
Chuck
most?
on it.
Chuck. Or his friend Chuck got it and got to keep it. I have the wine glass that holds a whole bottle. My sister got it for me. Now, see, that's my cup of wine. I like wine. I was just telling my daughter-in-law brought a vape home today, and it's blackberry, and I love blackberry wine. And I was telling her that vape tastes like it. I might get one. Icy Light, that's your favorite beer, Miss Leds? I like Corona. But back then it was Budweiser. All right, let me go finish reading these. You guys rock. All right, it had to scroll up. But I'm not saying it's Junior that was driving that car. I just saying that it favored Junior a lot and almost could pass for his twin. She writes back, Fred, he had a very bad wreck on Beach Creek at the bottom of Bob Dykes Road. Way before that, and has to be taken care of 24/7. That makes no sense. He writes, and this is Fred speak. Yeah, that's what I know. That's why it confused me when I seen him. I thought how in the hell is it him and him bad shape, but that boy favored him so much is all. I was saying. But yeah, I knew you had that bad wreck and stuff, and I was trying to figure out how in the hell that I was seeing that boy and thinking it was Junior because he looked so much alike. And then Lexus. He was driving favored Juanita's car at the time, but just a little different shade of color. So is this Fred trying to accuse yet another person, Juanita Light? You said it stopped because you thought it was him. He put, yeah, I thought it was him, but I was at the same time, I was trying to figure out how it could be him after that wreck, you know? She writes, I need to know why you were saying it was that day Summer went missing when you hauled the bike at the bottom of my driveway. That really eats at me. I've had so many questions. All of you from our area and so many of you are all suspects in this missing little girl's case. That's scary to hear another local say something like that. He writes, I was pretty sure it was on the 15th that happened. I could have been wrong, but I was pretty certain it was on the 15th because when I came back from hauling that bike, I hauled Brandon Clark's bike back into Ben Healing, had it on a trailer. When they had a hauler shut down. Okay, so he's saying back into Ben Hill, had it on a trailer when they had the hauler shut down. So you do have it on surveillance, or you do have it on surveillance. It was on the 13th. So Fred's been lying to us for 4.5 years. Like I said, I have talked to TBI in Hawkins County about the 13th. Where did the Lexus go when you hauled the bike? And that's it. Fred doesn't share the rest. Apparently, he told her where the Lexus went, and hopefully that goes to the TBI. Yes, get the thumbs up, guys. So now what we're going to do, I always want to ask him what stuff. Stuff could be important. You're right, Visa Marriage. Stuff could be important. What stuff? Let's hope he's telling the TBI or TBI's pushing him to tell them. But anyways, let's move on. How long have I been live? Oh, good. We got a good portion of time to watch a little bit of this. If Twister comes in, somebody let me know if I don't see it. I'm just going to come down and we're going to listen because I haven't listened to any of this. So I don't know nothing. We're just going to listen as long as we can. If I have commentary, I'll be back. If not, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm sure I'll have some by then.
Things straight. How's everybody doing? I've got a guest with me. You can unmute if you'd like.
Doing good. How are you?
Hey.
Hey.
Alabama.
This is the same lady I just read the messages that Fred was messaging. Her name's Tabitha Shipley.
Emma, that reminds me of my kidhood, my childhood. My mom used to listen to it all the time.
Yes, that was my first concert I ever went to.
Really?
Yes.
Where'd you see him at?
I was so little I can't even remember, honestly.
Oh, he's a kid?
Yeah, like I was little. Yes, when you said Alabama, I was like, oh, yeah.
Play me some.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I usually don't fuck around. You guys know I don't do memes. I don't do the whole, middle talk. I get down to it, and that's what I'm going to do. So, a lot of things have been said here lately, and I was thinking about it last night where I originally heard it from, and I don't remember. But I've always been on the path of trying to figure out as much as possible as a citizen, YouTuber, whatever, who was on Ben Hill Road, who was in the area, what happened, the timeline, all that fun stuff. And about 3 months ago, wherever I heard it, someone told me, and it's not my panel guest, someone told me that Fred Hill's timeline was a little different than he was saying. So I'm going to assume if you're here, you know who Summer Wells is. She was 5 when she disappeared from Tennessee. She was home with her mom and grandma, and her brothers were home that day, and she just disappeared. They haven't found her yet. They have had a lead. Has it been about a month ago now? That lead came up?
I would say it has. I mean, close to it anyway.
Yeah.
And today, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation released an updated photo of Summer Wells. Take a look. This is the new age progression photo, side by side with the original photo. Summer disappeared in 2021 from her Hawkins County home. She was just 5 at the time. She would be 9 years old now. A Tennessee Amber Alert is still active for her. The TBI says they continue to follow up any and all leads in the case. If you know anything, call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
But I've not seen or heard anything since the lead, which says 9.5 miles away on Van Hill Road, which is, I would say, by what I gather, you take a right out of Ben Hill, you go up past.
No, you take a left out of Ben Hill.
Oh, you take a left. See, that's what I
Yes.
thought originally, but I was watching someone else, and they made it seem like they took a right. Okay, so you take a
Nope.
left.
Yep, you take a left out of Ben Hill.
And then what? About how far down Ben Hill?
I mean, it is approximately 9.5 miles.
Okay, and then Van Hill's on your right?
Oh, you're talking about to Van Hill Road.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, gosh, I don't know. I would say probably 6 to 7 miles, and then a couple of miles out Van Hill Road. That's just an estimate. I don't know. I've not looked it up for, to be exact. That's just a guess.
Okay. Well, the news put out that they were searching 3500 block of Van Hill. And since then, it's come out that it was Paul Hill's property. And, no pointing fingers at anyone. I mean, anything can be, we don't even know what this lead is going to lead to, is what I'm trying to say. It could be nothing. It could be as simple as a phone. We just don't know where this is headed. So back to June 15th, there were so many people on that road. And I've made many videos about, every time I hear somebody's account of when and where, I've made a video on it. And I think that's where I got on Fred and Ziggy so much, is because the more I was listening to him talk, he kept changing his times, and it was kind of concerning to me.
Look, I almost forgot. I went into let's hit this first. I went into Munch's chat today. I'm gonna let bygones be bygones for now. whatever he got going on with Mama Bear and all that, I don't appreciate the way he talks about women and the things he says about women's privates. And however, I think that's dude's personality, and I need an open communicational line between him and Andrew as a creator to get information. So I want to keep things kind of cordial with them right now. So I went in there, asked my questions, left, and then came live. But the other day I noticed in a thumbnail he had a Christmas hat on, and I was thinking, wow, how dumbass does he look, but how cute is that for YouTube, you know? And his was red and just normal and plain. So I was at Five Below the other day doing a little bit of Christmas shopping, and I seen this hat. And I figured because of the way he talks about women, I'd get it and wear it just for him. Because Munch is the Grinch. Woo! So let's smoke, listen to Curse, and remember Munch is the Grinch. And I got a Grinch hat just for Munch. See? Ain't it cute? Puff, puff, pass. All right, let's continue.
And there is, especially for the times that he had said that he left Ben Hill that day, which, you know, if you're going to be on, I hear something in the background. You have something on your end?
It's probably the TV in the living room. Just a second. I'm going to shut my door.
If anyone that was on that road that day, you know, their witness accounts is important. And of course, it's important to law as long as the law enforcement knows. But so Fred Hill has.
Do you still hear something in the background?
Give it a minute. No, it's
okay.
No, I just did, but it's okay. I think it's okay.
Okay, just let me know if you do.
I
think it because I think it was the TV in the other room.
Okay. So this main story that Fred Hill has gave me come up, and I think it may have confused some people. So I'm going to try to straighten that out. And even though I have who I have on panel with me, I am still going to say alleged. I try never to point fingers, make someone look guilty, call someone a liar. I am in no position to do that. I can only show you what I have, see, hear, and all that fun stuff. So I'm gonna play what Fred. Let's start with that. Fred has said his timeline several times, and it has pretty much stayed the same. He's not changed his timeline, other than in the beginning of it, it was a little weird because when he was talking to Ziggy, he said he was hauling cars all day. Now, whether he meant in his mind that he was hauling them from house to house, that could be true. But I took it as a subscriber in the beginning that he was telling people he was hauling them out, you know, somewhere. And then here comes Laura, his girlfriend, who was with him that day. And the last time I've heard her speak, she stuck to her story that they made it to the crusher that day. I don't think that's true. I don't think that they hauled cars that day. Whether they did or not, I don't know. So let me find what he has said he did do that day. Let me get my head on straight and figure out what I'm doing. And then I'm going to show you guys some things because I believe different now. And here's the whole point of this is, if you know the story, you know that Fred and Laura were users for a very long time. And I think that both of them have their days very confused, which is fine, as long as they told law enforcement the truth. But now that all this has come up with these tips being turned in, excuse me for a second, let me take a drink. I think that it's his true belief that he did haul 2 motorcycles on the 15th. And now that I know what I know, I don't think he did. And I think it's important that if Fred did not haul the first bike.
After reading those messages, that's exactly what I said. Jody seen him bring a bike in. He definitely did, but it's not this bike they're talking about. So is this the bike he was trying to pass along on the 15th, or did the bike really get stolen on the 15th and it was found at the Wells house? Because why would somebody want revenge on the Wells for a bike? What kind of bike was it? Was it an expensive bike? Who was driving a Lexus? Did Fred really know and just try to pass him off as Junior Light, JR Light? This is, in my opinion, is proof Fred's been doing nothing but lying for 2 years and Ziggy let it go. And now Ziggy's in her chat posting this and trying to pass it along. Ziggy, and that means you know he lied. And another thing is I'd like to know why you have so many answers so quickly all the time. Why you know Fred's whole life like that when y'all barely even had time to talk to each other to figure life out. You just got married 2 years ago, and you just met him 4 years ago, and he was with Laura up until 2.5 years ago. 2 3/4, really. So it really don't make no damn sense to me that you know that much about his life that you can never let Fred answer. And you have all the answers like that. Quick. It's odd to me. What the fuck are you helping him cover up, in my opinion?
Bike. Okay. Then the second bike that he did haul, Brandon's bike. I would like to know why he had a trailer with him, an empty trailer, because he claims he brought that bike back, and Jody Sue Brown seen him bring a trailer back the 15th. So he definitely did bring a bike back. And that's where the confusion is coming in from some things that happened. Jesus. Let me play this real quick.
Okay.
I just don't want to further confuse any more than I probably am.
I know, that's what I keep doing too. In my head.
Are you a Hummer?
Yes.
Me too.
Yes, you, and now you've played that song, and now it'll be I'll probably humming it in my sleep.
Playlist. Fred's timeline. Okay.
I didn't even know the boy. Don't hauling nothing after I left the holler. because I couldn't make a scrap yard or nothing. I didn't have nothing loaded. I tried to. But that's when I met the boy out next to end of the Beach Creek, which is past Light Holler Road in Sullivan County, and he was broke down. I didn't even know the boy.
That didn't happen. I don't know why Dawn lied about it, but Jody Sue busted him lying. I got the pictures. Let me write it down because I was going to pull them out and show them, and then I deleted them and didn't show them in my timeline earlier today when I covered the truck. Hold on. Red truck pics. Ben Hill Road. But that happened a little bit after Summer had gone missing, within a month or two. And Dawn was driving. Jody was in the car with him when he was driving. He was also live on Cher's panel. And it also was not the truck they're looking for, Tacoma. Right? Ain't that what it is? No one has the one for you. I am using Earl's. That's that one. When it's divated, it's not taking you to it. But yeah, something that got me about them pictures, and I'll point it out tomorrow, is there's a pew-pew shot. A real bullet. In the mirror of Dawn's truck. Now that's concerning to me because it's pretty big. It worries me. Yeah, Miss Leds, it is confusing because Dawn did lie about it, but Jody Sue caught him lying. I'll see if I can find the clip. I think I did a video on it. I just can't remember if it was this channel or my old channel. I lost a lot of material, guys. All right.
That had the motorcycle. So I went back to Ben Hill and got my trailer and went back out there and loaded the bike. And then I took it from there. We stopped at Zoomer's and they got gas in their vehicle, which was gold Lexus.
And that wasn't at 5:30 when you saw Andy Bernard, was it?
Huh?
That wasn't the time you saw Andy, was it?
No, I saw Andy earlier.
No, you saw him at Zoomer's
I
though.
seen Andy at 5:30.
Zoomer's too. He was there.
Because I dropped the bike off at West Side Inn, and then I come to Zoomer's and got gas myself, and that's when Andy pulled in beside of me. He's on pump 10, because I was on pump 11. I always do pump 11, he pulled in on pump 10.
And the reason why Fred would know which pump is which, because that's like the only gas station people go to in that town. So he went to Zoomer's probably every day.
Yeah, I went every day.
So that's how he knows which pump is
that's
which.
where we would go to use Wi-Fi and stuff, because there's Arby's there, and we hook in a Arby's Wi-Fi.
A lot of people do
That's where
that.
even Jody C would go live and stuff all the time from.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Truck comes back out of the holler, bumper to bumper, and then the blue truck, Chevy truck.
They were bumper to bumper, huh?
Mm-hmm. And then see, I had to move again, so.
Yeah, he had to move again and unhook.
Hell with it, because that was about 340 something, and then I had to unhook the trailer, and then time you figure a 30-minute drive or something other, so I had to be there by 4:20 at the grocery to unload, and there wasn't no way I could hook back up and get it loaded, and then make the drive in that time. I was trying to load one.
Oh, it wasn't on the train.
Because I used the same trailer to haul that motorcycle on. When I went to the end of the creek and stuff, and I had to come back and get the trailer to take his motorcycle to West Side Inn, and I don't know who that guy was. I never met him before. Never seen him since.
I was able to pull them up pretty quick because I remembered where they were. So Dawn had said they had asked him at 4 o'clock in the morning or something to get a 4-wheeler to get this truck out. And that there was a girl with very messy hair. Oh, that ain't that. Hold on. In the passenger side. Here's the four-wheeler right here, and here's the pew hole. I was telling you about in his mirror, and you could see it was Dawn because you can see his arm. But Jody Sue was trying to say she took the pictures. Yeah, that's fine, Twister. Did you hear my intro, what I said to you, just so you know? Make sure you listen. But let me see if I could find the date. I thought I had it with the date of these pictures. Ah, here we go. Jody posted this. It happened on August 4th at 2:01 a.m. She posted this with the pictures from Dawn's truck. If anything tells you how sick I am, it is this. I heard this happen late after we'd gotten and tried to stumble out and all, but immediately had to come back out before I ended up stuck outside. I left reviving craziness and screaming folks to their own devices and was having such a hard time staying conscious that I passed back out instantly after making it back to bed, even with extreme amount of noise and screaming still happening. Apparently, some other neighbor found them all bleeding and still wandering around the road at daylight and called it in. In my defense, I did think it was someone I knew and that they were tore up fixing it or had just run off the road and were trying to get it out. It wasn't, oops, laugh out loud. And people be like, don't know why you're all night worried or watching outside. You have lost it. Cue smart-ass SpongeBob meme. Maybe try living here or actually being awake while in here. It's lit in here lately, I'm telling ya. And then she posted the pictures that I just showed you with it. So this happened, no, that's pictures of Ben Hill. That happened the August 2nd. That's nothing. Okay. Let me go back to Kirsten, check chat.
Yeah, Laura.
Or 30 AD at me on each bus. I mean, on the bus, bringing them to switch out every little bit.
Oh, Clipwing says when it sounds like he says he hauled 6 or 7, I think he was talking about his address 167. Maybe, but yeah, because Fred's like, he's like, I didn't haul any off that day, so there's no chance that was a mistake. Like, he had to have been. He had to miss.
I did haul a motorcycle that day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That motorcycle.
Yeah, when I left out, I unhooked the trailer at her. I met Andy and stuff.
But the motorcycle never came in the hauler, though.
No, I picked it up out past Light Cemetery.
Yeah.
The next driveway past Light Cemetery going towards Kingsville.
Yeah.
Tim Shipley's driveway was where I picked the motorcycle up. Past Light Hauler Road.
Yeah.
And see, when I got out there, he was working on his bike and stuff. He's in the road, and I pulled over and tried to help him and stuff, and then kind of get it going and stuff. So I told him, I said, I had a trailer that I could haul it for him. Just give me a few minutes. And I backed up into Light Hauler Road and turned around and went straight and picked the trailer up and come straight back and picked that motorcycle up. And then went to Zoomer from there. And then I took it to West Side Inn, dropped it off. Then I come straight back to Zoomer to get gas because we stopped at Zoomer's because the car that was following the bike, the gold colored Lexus,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give him a ride. While they followed me, they had to get gas. So I just pulled in there and waited on them to get gas. And then we went on to West Side Inn and dropped the bike off right in front of the office.
Listen how detailed this is. I don't even know how you remember. Probably because of how it was a crazy day. That might, I mean.
I left from there, went to Zoomers. That's when I seen Andy at 5:30 getting gas.
Mm-hmm.
Left from Andy's. I went to somebody's house right there within a couple streets of Zoomers. Done me some dope. I ain't lying. I mean, I ain't got no reason to lie.
Yeah.
And where did I go from there?
Can
I
help
don't think where I went from there.
after you left your friends, didn't you go to Ben Hill?
No, I didn't.
'Cause that was after
I
Zoomer.
stopped at on the Lone Star, where actually Pete and Brandon and all them lived at the time. See, Pete and Brandon and them didn't live in Light Hollow Road when someone went missing. A lot of people get that confused.
They lived.
They was living on Lone Star, and I actually stopped by.
Okay. So as you see, he basically has the same timeline. He like one, he added that he went down Light Hollow Road. Then one time he didn't mention it, and but it's basically been the same. And I think that Fred's story has shaped a big portion of how this case has been talked about since he has spoken, because he said he's seen Andy Bernard that day. At first it was between 3 and 3:30, and then it started coming out that he's seen law enforcement showed him pictures, and they had a timestamp of 3:47. So then he started using the 3:47 mark as the time that he's seen him, because that's when Andy was supposedly on camera with this truck behind him. Andy has spoke about it. Andy has denied being on the road at that time. Andy does not deny being on the road. He went to work. People have talked to Hayworth, his boss at the time. Many people have talked to Hayworth. TBI has talked to Hayworth. I would bet my house that Andy was at work all day. And that's where I am with it. So who I have with me on panel is Miss Shipley, and she was there June 13th, 2021. And she's seen the broke down bike because it was at the end of her driveway. Now, before we go on with this, what I had heard mentioned the other night with 6, and I don't blame her for being confused. I really don't, because it can get confusing. And some other things were going on at the time, and I think it just panned out really crazy. Zig and Fred was talking about this conversation I'm about to show you. And at the same time, there was a little bit of trouble going on at Light Hollow Road. And I think that those people took it as Fred and Ziggy may have turned a tip in on them, called law enforcement on them, and that's not the case. What is the case is they turned this conversation in that I'm about to show you. And am I missing anything? Are you keeping track with me here?
I'm with you.
Okay.
You're doing good.
All right. I wonder if I can make this. Okay, so what I did was I was going to just pull these up picture by picture, but I wanted to make sure that I pulled them up in order and didn't get them confused. So I just put them into a video form. And so that's what we're going to look at. maybe if what you want is to make it as real as possible is I can read Fred's part and you can read your part and then get through it that way. Does that make sense?
If that's fine with me. If that's what you want me to do.
Okay, let me enlarge this. Maximize. And let me say this. I think everybody should be encouraging Fred to think about what he did see on the 15th, you know, because this is the whole point of this, that he didn't haul that first bike on the 15th. He hauled it on the 13th, which means he's got this whole day open that he's not talking about, either on purpose or in his mind. He has no idea, you know, and with Fred being in and out of the holler that day and up and down Beach Creek, what if he did see something that is important in Summer's case, that it's not clicking with him because he's thinking for sure that, you know, I did this on the 15th, so whatever that was can't be important. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does everybody get what I'm saying?
I do.
All right.
Thank you, Tragedy Pimp's exposed. No, I'm not in chat.
Let's see. View. Okay, this has no sound. Give me about 5 seconds. Maybe 7. Hold on.
You're welcome, and we love you too. Papa.
Shut the door. You're stuck in here. I'm stuck in my junk. Hey, before we get started, I wanted to ask you. We was talking about. Remember, we was talking about that White House on the property.
Yes.
You want to talk about that?
If you want to. I mean, that's up to you.
Tell me about it again. What was happening?
Well, you just want to know what we were going to do and how we waited.
Yeah, tell.
Or are you talking about the tip?
You know what I think, Pam? I think the TBI is more concerned about Summer and possible human traffic or possible unaliving, I hate to say that, than they are the funds. But I think that they would have turned it into IRS or whoever does that. And I think that at some point there's going to be a lot of shit that comes out over Summer's case, and not just Summer's. I believe this has been going on for years. I believe Jody Sue's correct when she says that, especially knowing the things I know with the people connected themselves down there to up here. And I'm going to tell you, it's pretty scary. Hey, Marion. Yep, so much skullfuckery. You're right. Yep. All right. I put this on 1.5 because I feel like we can still hear them.
No, not the house that you were making sure that Summer wasn't in there and the soldiers came up and.
So anybody that knows down in here, there was a house coming up our driveway, a white house that was my husband's family home, built in like 1932. We were going to tear it down. We were in the process of getting ready to tear that house down because it was so old and it just needed a lot of work, and we were going to put something else there. And then all this happened with Summer, so we did not touch anything. But I did go down to the house, and the house was, searched by me, but I don't know how far you want me to go into that.
Oh, I thought it stuck with me because of what you told me. You said that, you was making, who was it that said it? Was it Coop that told the public on the news, for everybody to check their barns, check your camera, I say that every time.
Camera footage.
Yeah, check it every day, just make sure, she could be the size of a laptop. And you were checking this particular house. It was on your property, you said?
Yeah, yes, it's on our property.
Yeah, you were, calling me saying, Summer, baby girl, are you in there? It's okay, come out.
Yes.
And I just thought, I hope everybody else did that too.
There was even a crawl space underneath, and I even got a flashlight and crawled up, underneath to look, and called out to her again, telling her, hey, Summer, if you're in here, you're safe, you're okay, please come out. I promise you, you're safe.
Yeah. But she didn't come out, did she?
No, no. Which, I mean, to get in, for her to have been able to have gotten, like, actually into the house, she would have had to have broken a window or something like that. No, there was no, like, broken windows or anything like that. So, in my head, I kept going, of course, I did keep going back through the house just in case, because you never know with kids,
Mm-hmm.
And there was that crawl space, underneath the house that I kept going back to because I didn't know. I thought, well, how's this little girl, that I didn't even know lived there, has she wandered out this far, which is really only 3 minutes away from my house.
Yeah, and it's possible. It's very possible. I think it's possible that she's within the coverage that they covered. I
do too.
I do believe they could have missed her only because of my own personal experience with my son. They missed him, and he was right there in the open. They had a drone above him. They had searcher dogs down the road that were sniffing the sewers. They were telling the handlers, hey, I smell something right here. And if they were doing their job well enough, they should have known that those sewers go to a retainer pond right up the road.
Right.
And he was within feet of that. Those dogs were on it, but the handlers were not.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, let's just get on here. Is there anything else that you want to talk about before we read this?
I'm just going to stick. You can go ahead there.
I know. Feel put on the spot, don't you? It's not my thing.
We talked about it, it's been going, it's 4.5 years, going on 5 years, and I've never been on here. I've never spoke about this. Well, I did turn in a tip, as I told you, the tip was turned in,
Yep.
And law enforcement did come up here. I did talk to them personally, so, but I don't think that they ever took my tip seriously.
Mm-hmm. Which is what we're about to talk about, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And there's some things that was said in this little interaction that makes me kind of look sideways. And one part of it goes another sideways left because I've heard, well, I'll talk about it when we get there. How about that? Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So I think each clip is about 5 seconds. So, all right. So you are in the blue.
Yes.
All right. Let me get a quick drink and then you can just start whenever you want.
Okay. I say, hey, who did you haul the motorcycle for my driveway?
Fred said, I don't know who he was. You and Tim was standing there helping him when I pulled in before I went and got the trailer and hauled it that day on the 15th.
Go have to pull it on screen because I can't, me, I'm stupid on here.
I hit play. It'll go there in a minute. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Wait a minute. I think there's that's from the previous one that day. So go ahead.
Okay, shit.
Can you see it?
Well, I'm trying to read it on my TV. I'm blind as a bat, just so you know.
Does that help?
Well, it's not pulling up on my TV for some reason. My TV's being too slow.
I'll read it until you figure it out.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I said, no, he wasn't. Nobody went to the bottom of the hill to help except Tim. And I know if Tim had been standing there, you wouldn't have even stopped. I wasn't down there at all.
Okay, now I want to clarify what we're talking about here is this is a situation where Fred has told everyone that he left Ben Hill that day and he went to Glenda's. And as he was coming out of Glenda's, the Shipley's driveway is past Light Hollow Road. He said he's seen a broke down bike. So he wanted to be a good Samaritan and he pulled over. And this is his story that he ended up saying, hey, I'm in a hurry, but I'll take the time. I'll go back to the house. I'll get a trailer and I'll haul your bike for you. And you heard it in the other 2 clips that I played where he says that they stopped at Zoomer's because the Lexus had to get gas. They took that bike to West Side Inn, and then he came back and got gas at Zoomer's. and did some other business with his friends at Jamie's, and he used drugs. I don't know what he did that day. He just said, he used. And then, am I missing anything? For some reason, it seems like he has said since they also went to the dollar store that day. So that's neither here or there. And then they ended up coming home. And if you've seen Jody's helicopter video, she says that he had not broke up the traffic yet. And if you listen to the what's that app called that played the not Dispatch, where they were talking back and forth and saying in 1911 we're here. Then the helicopter went up in the air. So I go by that. Scammer food is what I'm trying to think of. And the time that the sun was setting that day, I come up with about 10 till 9 is when she took that video. So give or take, you'd have to ask her. But so I'd say Fred got home around 9 that night. And this conversation right here is what we're talking about is Fred's alibi for that day. So she said, no, we wasn't. Nobody went to the bottom of the hill to help except Tim. And I know if Tim had been standing there, you wouldn't have even stopped. I wasn't down there at all. Then Fred said, yeah, me and Tim spoke to each other and stuff. He was asking Tim if he had a relay and stuff, and he knowed how to hook it back up between his fuel pump and stuff. And Tim told him no, he didn't know how or whatever that. He probably had some kind of a security system on it. And that's when I asked him if he needed somebody to haul it. And he said, yeah. And I told him, hold on, I'll go get a trailer. Well, I know Tim was down there for sure. I was thinking he was down there, but I may be wrong about you being down there. I know Tim was down there for sure. I figured you and somebody still, I think that says, have your surveillance and stuff up down there and got all of that on. What are you giggling about? Okay.
Just waiting for the next part.
Do you think he could have had something to do with Summer going missing? Do you have surveillance of that day? If so, turn it into TBI. And then you said, if you could see it.
Fred, we both know that you and Tim have not got along for years. You literally shot when him and our daughter, 12-year-old daughter, was going four-wheeling and passed your camper. But you and Tim didn't get along before that. When you stopped down there, it was only the guy on the motorcycle and the guy in the car.
I've never shot at Tim.
That's why I'm asking you. The motorcycle was stolen.
Two or 3 years ago, I have been out here screaming, who's Jamie? Who's Jamie, Fred? Who's Jamie? Ellie Mae started coming in my chats. She told me who Jamie was. She also told me Fred hauled the motorcycle for Jamie. No, yeah. I don't have the messages no more because they took my original Facebook. And I thought I had saved them, but I can't find them, but they'll pop up. All I remember is West Side Motel on the way back from the shipyard is what Fred originally said. Then he ran to the guy at the bottom of the hill or wherever with the broke down bike, and he hauled the bike off the Ben Hill Road. Now, this is a bike that was stolen, taken to Ben Hill Road, and then Fred comes to pick it up. I can't wait to hear what this lady says about this. Wow. Fred, you're busted. Ellie Mae, you're busted too, because why would you lie about the date?
From Kingsport, took to Ben Hill Road. The guy found the bike.
The guy in the ball cap too. Did you really see the guy in the ball cap with Dobbs on the 15th? Because you helped Fred with that one as well.
And went and took it back from Ben Hill Road. I can't say that because it's underneath the.
And it says, and you lived on Ben Hill Road. Makes no sense.
Yes.
Then Fred says, all I want to know is, do you have surveillance? I can't see behind the arrow. Surveillance of, I think it says that day because I see a T and then AY on that bike and then that gold Lexus.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Okay, I would prefer you not say if you do or don't have surveillance.
Okay.
It doesn't matter to the public. That is your business.
All right.
Fred said, all I want to do is, okay. And then he says, if so, I think it's crucial in Summer's case. We can put our differences aside for Summer. Can you see it?
Okay, it's moving a little bit slower on my TV, but I see it now. I've talked to TBI and Hawkins County. And then I say, oh, so you do know exactly what kind of car it was. This is for Summer, because I have had this gut feeling that what happened that day led to what happened to Summer. It's sad we live that close to those people and have no idea and had no idea that they even lived there.
So do I. Question mark.
On June 13th, 2021, not June 15th, and I can't see it.
It says absolutely, positively, for sure of the date.
Yes, I am. And then I can say, do you what?
You what?
Yes, we're country bumpkins down here.
Fred says, I think this is, yeah, you did a good job of screenshotting because you did a continual. So it'll be on the next one. I feel like it's very important. Yep. Fred said, I feel like it's very important in Summer's case. I feel like it may be a revenge. And you hear this word revenge. Ziggy spoke of revenge. And I think that's where Six Up, when she heard the word revenge and she knew what was going on down at Blenda and Steve's, they had some business going on down there. I think that she took it as Zig and Fred were trying to get revenge on them, and therefore what happened with them happened. I think 100% is where that mix-up came from. Okay, so Fred said, did you turn in the footage of that? Please say you did. What I was saying, I hope you turn the footage into that. I feel it's like it's crucial to Summer's case.
I have always thought it was a drug debt or revenge, and I think the day of the motorcycle being hauled is a part of what led to what happened.
And Fred gave a thumbs up.
Yep.
Thumbs up. When I asked him where to take the bike to first, he said, now this, I've heard Fred say this is a misspelling here. It's Molinex Drive, which I've never heard of that until recently he started talking about it. Now Fred, in his timelines, you guys got to excuse me, I got to scare off some scoundrel cats real quick. Get off the door. Jeez. He said that, there was two guys, and one guy on the bike, one guy in the Lexus following him. So no one rode with him. And oh, by the way, that day on the 13th, when you seen Fred, was Laura with him?
No.
Okay. You want to go out there? Come on. So by Fred's timeline, what he has told us, no one was with him in his truck to talk to back and forth about what this is right here. He says, when I asked him where to take the bike to, first he said Molinex Drive. I told him I didn't know where Molinex Drive, this does say Monique's, but I believe it's supposed to be Molinex, yeah. He was talking to Tex, which you'll find out later. And he said, well, can you take it to West Side Inn? I said, sure, Molinex Drive. I'm using speech to text. I'm sorry about some of the misspelled shit. And on the way to West Side Inn, he talked about he had traded that. Let me wait till I get there. Okay, so what Fred's saying is the guy asked him to take it to Molinex Drive, but because Fred didn't know where that was, he had to go ahead and take it to West Side Inn. Now, I just heard Fred the other night explain where Molinex Drive is, and it's up the road around the corner.
That's Molinex Private Drive, and he knew exactly. He can say what he wants to, but he knows exactly that was Molinex Private Drive. He knows who lives there.
Okay, all right. So Fred says, and on the way to West Side Inn, he talked about he had traded that bike to his father for a Toyota truck, and his father supposed to live in. Now this is Duffield. I don't know what he meant.
No, Duffield is in Virginia.
Okay, all right. So let me read that over. And on the way to West Side Inn, he talked about he had traded that bike to his father for a Toyota truck, and his father supposed to live in Duffield. I talked to law enforcement, TBI, about it, but they didn't act interested.
This is definitely not Fred. It's Ziggy. You forgot that I'm a country bumpkin too, and we don't speak the same language.
He said, no, it's Fred. I'm using speak to text right now, and I've got somewhat of a cold, and everything don't come out right. My backer's ass slang too. Just speak to text to set up for Yankees. Let me pause it real quick. All right. Can you see that bottom part? That might be on the next one.
I can just barely see it.
Okay. And he sent her a little clip.
This is definitely me.
To prove that it was definitely him, not Ziggy.
And in my opinion, they're sitting right beside each other. That's only in my opinion. I don't know. I wasn't there.
I'm going to have to share that opinion because I've read this several times, and I've seen how Fred talks to other people. And
that's why I think, I don't think it was him. I don't think it was him. Do you?
I don't.
Pam. But they hauled it on the 13th. He would have known it was gone. Or did Fred haul it back to Ben Hill Road and not to the motel as he was supposed to? Jody seen him with a bike. Did they steal it back? The bike was stolen, taken to Ben Hill Road. Then Fred shows up to haul it. He said he could fix it. He took it to Ben Hill Road was the original story. But he stopped at Jamie Cox's place at the West Side Motel on the way back from the trash yard. Pam, I think that's a great thought. Was the bike gone the day? How did Fred get? Is it the same? What was the color? I hope this lady tells us the color of the bike. I'm almost positive Jody Sue said it was blue.
I think it was either her or her coaching him what to say.
Right.
Because Ziggy wants answers, just like everyone else.
Well, and I'm not trying to be rude either, but Fred doesn't know how to spell well.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell the difference.
Are we where we're supposed to be here?
Yes.
Oh.
West.
Hold on. I just don't.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
West Side Inn. One of the best known drugs. Well, it's supposed to be one of the best known drug places, and anything else places. Red flag, dude. So where else can I drop your bike? Is what I would have said, but I don't know what happened. I can't see any. Oh, but I was clean at the time, and you wasn't.
Right.
Nothing toward your recovery because I have been there, and even though we don't get along, good luck with that.
And while I'm thinking about it, see, little points like this, I forget, and I'm gonna mark that right there. Now, when Six went to Tennessee and met some friends, she spoke to Brandon Clark, and Brandon Clark is who supposedly owned the second bike that he brought home that evening. And as of right now, Brandon is saying also that his bike was hauled on the 13th, not the 15th. I wasn't there. I can't say it didn't happen, but Fred brought someone's bike home that night. So, could Brandon be wrong as well? I don't know. The many people that I've spoke to, law enforcement didn't talk to him. I think I don't even know that I have spoke to anyone who actually got questioned, which is really sad.
It is sad.
Yeah. Fred says, but see, when I came out through there, when they was there, I thought is it Junior or JR?
Well, I wasn't quite sure what he was saying, which you will see in the next message, because there is a Junior and a JR.
Okay. Well,
but he was talking. It ends up he was talking about JR Light.
I was gonna say JR because if he said Junior and he's speaking, then it would have picked up Junior, not JR. Okay. But see, when I came out through there, when they was there, I thought it was JR Light that was standing there because he favored JR a lot. That's one reason I stopped to help, see if he needed help, because I thought that was Juanita's car he was driving.
And then I say, you thought Junior Light was riding a motorcycle because Junior Light was an older man, and I thought that's what he was saying.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about Junior riding no bike. Let's see if this is on the next one. No, I was talking. Yeah, right here. No, I was talking about the boy that was driving the car that was there with that boy that was on that bike. I thought he looked like JR is reason I stopped.
I can't say anything.
So you said, are you talking about JR or Junior? He says, Juanita's son, JR, the one that was in a bad wreck. I was like, when I see it, that boy, I was like, how in the hell is that JR? It looks just like him, but ain't he still in bad shape? There's what I was telling Laura, but I'm not saying it's JR that was driving that car. I was just saying that it favored JR a lot and almost could pass for his twin.
You'll have to go up a little bit.
It'll be on the next one. And you know who he's talking about, correct?
Yes. I
why
do.
he was kind of blown away why he would even think
Yes.
for a second, because why?
I mean, he was in a very, very, very bad car wreck, and he has to have 24/7 care.
Okay, so it was
way before summer went missing.
Yeah. So does Fred know that man very well? To your knowledge?
I mean, I would say yes because of. I don't want to talk bad about him, because of his family or anything. He was in the same shape that a lot of us have been in. I'll say that.
Okay. So
I say Fred.
Yep. Go ahead.
He had a very bad wreck on Beach Creek at the bottom of Bob Dykes Road. Way before that, and has to be taken care of 24/7. That makes no sense.
Yeah, that's what I know. That's why it confused me. When I seen him, I thought, how in the hell is it him and him bad shape? But that boy favored him so much is all I was saying. But yeah, I knew you had that bad wreck and stuff. And I was trying to figure out how in the hell that I was seeing that boy and thinking it was JR because he looked so much alike. And then Lexus, he was driving, favored Juanita's car at that time, but just a little different shade of color.
Right after I brought this out, the West Side Inn, the bike, all of it, Ziggy flew overnight to get married to Fred. And then she started getting really strange with me. Reading my tarot cards, playing 3-6 Mafia. Yeah, remember that? Anybody remember that? Y'all heard her play 3-6 Mafia since then? Her name's Tabitha Shipley Ratch. She's new. We're just adding her in and learning that Fred has been lying to us for 4.5 years. And Pam O'Connor came up with a really good theory. Scroll up or read, put it on live chat as you catch up.
You said you stopped because you thought it was him.
Yeah, I thought it was him, but I was at the same time, I was trying to figure out how could it be him after that wreck, you know.
I'll have to wait because I can't see anything.
Okay.
I feel like my TV's being so slow where I can see the messages.
It's usually about 5 seconds behind different devices.
Oh, okay.
And I can't see chat. I'll check here in a minute if anybody's got any questions. If you're lost, I don't blame you, but we're going to try to get this figured out. And I would really like for Fred to take a step back and get this figured out too. Because Fred actually, at least twice, maybe 3 times now. Yeah, 3 times, because he said it on Cher's panel. He said it to talking with Serafina and Sweetie. And he said it when they were having a little bit of a fire on the back porch. He said that he's going to testify in Summer's case. And then he proceeded to go on and say that it's going to be in a different county. And Ziggy was kind of like, yeah, I wonder why. And which made me think, you know, you guys are husband and wife. You don't talk about this. I mean, your husband's going to allegedly testify.
Seriously, Andy Bernard, how many times have you, I, and Ellie, Karen Elliott, had this conversation in my chat about this damn bike? Andy Bernard's in here. He's not disagreeing or denying anything I'm saying. I've been bringing this out since it's 2-3 years now. There's always something. Always. Fred, Ziggy, Ernie. Ziggy, I swear to God, in my opinion, you're a handler. What the fuck are y'all hiding? What accident or what happened? In my opinion, you're hiding something. Oh, and look, and there's Tragedy Pimps Exposed. One of my locals that stalks me on Facebook and is friends with all of my McKee Sport friends who were stalking me on Facebook and court papers and boogeymans and all kinds of shit, right? Fuck you, bitch.
In Summer's case, and you guys are 24/7 Summer, but yet you don't know the details of him supposedly testifying in her case. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we're on you.
I need to know why you are saying it was the day Summer went missing when you hauled the bike at the bottom of my driveway. Excuse me. That really eats at me. I've had so many questions.
No, Andy, but you can vouch that Ellie Mae and I have talked about this in my chats. You have been present when we've talked about it. When he took Brandon's bike to fix it, he seen the other guy broke down and helped him too. Is that correct? No. I didn't know he went to fix Brandon's bike. That's new to me. I didn't hear that. If somebody can send me a link to that, that would be great. Thank you, little Dev. You're amazing. This is making me so mad right now. Where's Fred's sister? Come grab a link.
All of you from our area, and so many of you all are suspects in this missing little girl's case.
I was pretty sure it was on the 15th that happened. I could have been wrong, but I was pretty certain it was on the 15th. Because when I came back in from hauling that bike, I hauled Brandon Clark's bike back into Ben Hill. Had it on a trailer when they had a hauler shut down. So do you have it on surveillance? It was on the 13th. Take time.
I'm just waiting on it to pop up. As soon as it pops up,
Andy, anytime you seen Dobbs down on the road, number one, did you see him on the 15th? Did you see Dobbs on the road on the 15th? And if you did you see him with a guy in a ball cap that looked like Skeleton? Because Ellie Mae also told me that. She does seem to cause a lot of confusion and lie just as much as Fred does. Kirst was in my chats for all those. I'm sharing Kirst stuff. She'll see this.
I'll bring my part. I'm also curious, Fred, if the motorcycle hauling happened on the 13th, then where were you on the 15th? I'm not.
Laura did say that, but I never believed that. And I always said that because, well, Fred went to jail for Jeff Everly. That's who snitched on Fred. I think Fred knew he snitched. I think Fred knew his charges were coming and going to the grand jury. I think Fred got something in the mail prior to let him know. I didn't see nothing about Brandon Ratch. It was always Jamie. He stopped at Jamie's house after the tow yard. That was the original story. And then that turned into, I seen Andy at the gas station. So you never seen him on the 15th. When you seen him, did he have any other human with him? Did you hear anybody else in the neighborhood say they seen him on the 15th with another young man that looked like Skeleton? Because that's what Ellie Mae said in my chat and in my text messages. I think it might even be in the ones that I showed. I don't know. I got to find them. Fucking Ziggy.
No investigator. I'm just like everybody else, trying to help figure out what happened to poor little Summer.
And he said, I recall it happening on the 15th, and I encourage you to turn them surveillance. I'm sure he meant the surveillance.
Right.
And that's what kind of made me feel that it may have been Ziggy because of the push for the surveillance, because she wants to show something to prove Fred right so bad. You know, she has turned in TBI tips on TBI tips upon TBI tips, with just things that people have told her. She was not there. It's not her knowledge. It's secondhand knowledge. And it's things that have been either debunked or just doesn't make sense. For instance, the one that she turned in, she literally told TBI that she thought that Dawn and Andy were basically trading Summer for a debt in Knoxville. And they never did get a hold of Andy. TBI never got a hold of him. So I think they know better. I would say if they had any inkling of, well, maybe we should question him on this, it's a pretty important tip, no matter who it comes from. But they didn't call him.
Actually, that's what started me and Ziggy fighting. I wrote, Ziggy, I was accusing Scott H of being Skeleton at the time because the one picture looked so much like him. I've apologized to Scott H, but I still say fuck him. And I had written Fred and asked him about him, and Ziggy threw a big tantrum because Fred and I were talking. She wanted it to fucking stop. She wanted me to quit writing him. Fred turned what I wrote him. That's around the time that Ellie Mae was in my chats. Fred turned it into oh, I seen that a guy that looked just like Skeleton wearing a baseball cap backwards. And then Ellie Mae came in and collaborated it. My sister Julie said she seen him too. That's what put me together that Julie's the one with the blue van, because me and Jody Sue got into a fight at the beginning. Jody hid the blue van. She didn't want it coming out who it belonged to. She said, Andy's biracial cousin. I've been onto this since the very beginning. You fools are fools. Karen Elliott, ain't nobody fucking scared of you. Skelton, Skelton. He's on a registry. He's connected to Christy Vincent, an area where her family lived. The Vincent's her doctor husband's family members. His sister lives across the street from Andy Bernard. He's an RSO. He was unregistered for years. He has one picture that looks just like Scott H, but he changes his appearance a lot. I'll bring him up. Let me write that down for tomorrow. Skeleton info. I'll bring some skeleton info out tomorrow. They did say they seen someone, right? And it was in my chat. Andy B, you were in there. That's what I'm saying. No, it was Julie's biracial daughter. I was too, about a person that looked, huh? I'm confused. Yes. It was a blue van, not a blazer, I thought. Not skeleton, Skelton. Skelton. Okay, let's put this back on. We still got an hour left.
You're up if you can see it.
Okay, I'm gonna say this before I read it, because if you see at the end of this first message it stops, then I accidentally hit the send message.
Well, yeah.
So it's both of those messages are supposed to be together.
Both of what messages?
Okay, so it says you might have hauled a bike on the 15th. I have no idea about that, but it's facts that you hauled the bike from our driveway on the 13th. Then,
and then he said, "Turn in the surveillance, please, and thank you."
And that's where I said, then I said, and I accidentally hit send, and it was supposed to be you hauled the bike. It's facts you hauled the bike from our driveway on the 13th. Then you keep saying turn it in, like you know for sure what I have done. Did you ever think that because it was the wrong date that you are given, that they are not investigating exactly where you were on the 15th?
And it looks like he's saying turn in surveillance of when it happened, because it could very well be important. The surveillance will have the date. That will solve that problem. The video will have a date on it.
Sorry.
She said, and that's fine. There's only one. And then she says, "Why would you think that I wouldn't know that?" And Fred.
Ziggy's van is Julie's van. So does that mean Ziggy had it before Fred got to Indiana? Andy? Yes, the bike was in her driveway, Moonshine Girl, and Fred came to pick it up. Holy fuck. Andy, please answer me. Are you telling me Ziggy's van is Julie's van? Ziggy, are you hiding evidence?
Fred says, because I remember the 15th, so the video should help us be able to see exactly. I talked with law enforcement on this often. I recorded the 15th, 16th, and 17th for Ellie. Ellie had me record Don Wells and others, which so many people talk about whether they believe he was, if he, wore a wire, the digital recorder. I'll tell you, I'm in the gray on that one because I definitely don't think he was wired up. I think if he did anything, it was with his phone for either one, his own protection, because he felt that he was about to get set up, and I don't blame him. Two, that because he said the two guys from the NARC unit are the ones that had him do it. I think that's possible. It wasn't on the 15th. No one's seen him on the 15th. And if he listens to himself tell his own stories, he's already said that, he didn't go down there till the 16th. He was too busy on the 15th getting his phone dipped and going for car rides and all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't put it past that, he recorded something, whether it be because they asked him to.
They're saying the bike was stolen, Bella, and taken to Ben Hill Road. And Pam O'Connor came up with, well, maybe that's why Dawn went to check the shed.
Or because he felt he needed to. But I guess that's neither here or there. It's just my opinion.
Right. You ready for me to read?
I am.
I'm listening to all the inconsistencies in stories, and if nobody is lying, then why different stories? You told that you wore a wire from the start, and now it's a tape. Well, I said tape recorder, but whatever. You have already outed yourself about that, so why not just tell exactly the truth about what happened to Summer? She's a baby and deserves justice, no matter who is involved.
We just turned this conversation to TBI yesterday, actually. So that's how I can tell you guys that this is what they turned into TBI. It is right here in front of your face. They are telling you that's what's been done, which is wild to me that I don't know why they would feel to turn this conversation over. I don't know what's in it that they think would be important to anyone. I mean, if he has already told law enforcement what he thinks he did on the 15th, and they spoke about this previously when Jason Jensen, the PI, came out, and I don't believe anything about that man. That's my opinion. I'm not going to push it on anyone, but if you take the time to read his Facebook page, I think that the man is all about clout. He chases high profile cases. I don't see any positive results of what he's doing. There's just a lot. And then he posts Fred Hill's picture on his Facebook page and says that he has been cleared in Summer's case. I think that's very irresponsible for a private investigator to do. For one, he was not cleared in Summer's case. I don't know who he was listening to. I know that he was in Ziggy's chat the night that she got very excited in after the news broke about an email being wrote to Karen. I'm not going to speak about that tonight. Jensen's a joke to me. That is my opinion. Fred said we just turned this conversation to TBI yesterday, actually.
Another thing is that you said the guy rode with the other guy in the Lexus first, and now you're telling me that he rode with you. If the guy rode with you in your vehicle, I'm sure you got his name. I think you are scared to say who was on the bike and in the car. And then I say, good, I'm glad. They will know that I reported and talked to them.
Arg. If Johnny Depp, an actor, can play a drunken pirate can be an actor.
And that's Jason Jensen, the private eye for you.
That is?
Yes, it
See,
is.
I've never watched him.
I caught that on his page the other day and thought, yeah, I'll grab that. I can't. He's all about Kurt Cobain and John Benet Ramsey, which I just seen the Idaho 4 case on 2020 the other night, and the knife sheath was actually in bed with the two, and he was looking for a knife sheath, if I'm saying that right. So I don't know. I just don't get it with him. He was talking about, I know you know who he is, right?
This guy?
Jensen?
I've heard of him, but I've never watched him. Never.
No, he's not like an actor.
No, I know that I've heard his name several times in this case. I clicked on him one time and I couldn't stand to watch him, so I just didn't.
Yeah. I've seen him on Court TV twice, speaking to Minnie Politan on the Summers case. And I think the first time he was sticking up for the parents in some sense. And I have screenshots. I don't know. I don't want to really go into all that because I think I'd rather do a whole thing on Jason Jensen and what he's all about, because he started all this tip stuff with, he said that someone wasn't comfortable enough to reach out to law enforcement. So instead they reached out to him for him to turn in the tip to law enforcement. And then he posted a picture of Summer and said, something about two brothers. I know what you did. Turn your brother in. And then that got Fred to talking about this motorcycle again.
Yep.
And I made a video on that not too long ago.
They had two sets of brothers talking about him, actually.
Yeah. And everybody was kind of speculating on who he was talking about. And I think around the same time, there was a rumor going around that TBI, I believe Tim Mullins put it out, that TBI was wanting to check the bottom of the Wells driveway then. But people seen them in the area, but no one ever reported that they actually seen them on Ben Hill looking. So I can't say yay or nay if it happened, but I've not heard anyone say they've seen a search happen. So I don't know.
The problem with that is, Ratch, Jody Sue was outside all damn day checking property lines, looking for Dobbs. She would have seen him on the 15th. Dawn would have seen him on the 15th. Candace would have seen him on the 15th. Anybody else would have seen him on the 15th. The only people that are saying they seen Dobbs on the road on the 15th are Fred and his sister. That's it.
Know what came of it, if it was real.
I don't know either, because I seen where they were supposed to be down here too, but I didn't even see them down in here, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And also, his son's name isn't Noah. I've spoken with Dobbs' son. He's a really nice guy.
Actor turned into a power. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And Linda said a tinfoil pirate hat. Oh, shit. So the conclusion for me, and I'd say you too, is, you without a doubt know that this guy with the broke down motorcycle was at the end of your driveway.
Yes.
And that was June 13th, 2021.
For a fact.
And you mentioned, you said, yeah, we was watching NASCAR. And I looked it up if NASCAR was on that day. And it was, just kind of trying to verify some things as much as possible. I don't know where to go from here, because I can't keep going on and on and on, just playing these clips of Fred, when the first time he ever told Ziggy about this bike, he hasn't been real clear, which is very surprising to me, as if you're a creator and you're wanting to cover a child's case and you have the opportunity to speak to someone that lived on that road and person of interest, there were so many things I would have asked him, but I would have also made sure that I got out of him what he did that day, all day long. And that didn't happen in that first interview between them. It took until 6 months later, whenever it was, when she went back, and then he opened up a little bit more and told her about the bike. And he kind of stumbled when he was telling her the story. And that's when I started questioning it, when I was listening to him stumble on it. He actually got to a point where I don't want to misquote him, he blinked out pretty much, like, wait a minute, hold on, I lost my train of thought. And she had to get him on the right track, motorcycle. And he's like, yeah. So the best bet I can come up with, the way that this place works, is whoever wants to have a conversation with Zig and Fred, get him to reconsider what he thinks happened on the 15th, and maybe have Ziggy help him make a journal or notes of what he thinks did happen on the 13th and the 14th in his mind. And maybe those clues can play into what did happen in his world on the 15th. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, it's just that simple. There's nothing wrong with being wrong, because you're wrong now. So what can it hurt to, I don't know. I've heard him say that he wasn't there on the 14th. He was there on the 14th. And that just kind of was kind of convenient, because that's when they started talking about Andy being on the road. And then it turned into,
God, did you really have to say that?
I know.
I bet Fred was on the road too, because they both live on that road. I have to say that.
Well, I know. And he puts himself in some weird, funky predicaments where, he's talking about this non-existent truck that followed Andy out. He has said that, I had cameras, I had video, I had camera. I don't have the SD cards. Ellie has them. another person saying someone stole all of them, and it just can't be every which way. It just can't.
Exactly.
Just can't. And I
That's
think
the only
that,
reason I'm speaking now is because I've just heard too many stories come out of his mouth.
yeah, I think that we as a community need to quit turning in bullshit tips.
All right, guys, I'm ending in a few minutes here. David Bay stole dogs. We're going to save this for tomorrow. However, I did want to go to Ziggy's community post before I got off of here. Let me see. Give me 1 minute here. Ziggy did share that Rick Crawford was arrested for violating probation or parole. Let me go read it. I can't see it from my studio. Probation. So these were probably for the rug charges he had last time he was arrested. Like Ziggy wrote, or somebody else wrote, I hope he's in there singing. Oh, Ratch, they do dog fighting, they do chicken fighting. You got the moonshine makers, the meth makers. I'm sorry, guys, but Beach Creek is filled with crime. It's riddled. I'm hoping that since summer disappeared, the people are scared now and that it's been cleaned up, but that's my opinion. We've been hearing it from the criminals that have been involved in it for years. Did anyone else see pics of all that land for sale? They had broken chimney remnants. No, but you know what picture I thought when I was thinking chop shop? Do you remember when Summer first went missing, all the cars and the junk behind on Simpson? And then there's a building down there where all them cars are. I always thought that was a chop shop. And then you got Chase involved, who does a lot with cars and is known for stealing and working in car shops. There was a shed in the building way down in the woods, his pipes laying around. Yeah, they all kinds of theft. Andy can tell you they would steal tools and barrels and shit off of his property. You hear a story of a night, Fred says he was running through the woods and almost grabbed somebody that was up there for, it was chasing truth or something. Remember? Jody Sue and the Peeping Tom. Andy validates that story. They had a Peeping Tom. Andy thought it was Dawn. But all right, guys, I'm going to get off of here. But before I go, I learned something today from my daughter's boyfriend. He is Hispanic. He's Guatemalan, and he's been trying to teach me a little more Spanish than I know. So I always tell you guys peace and love. Tonight, I'm going to say it in Spanish. Pez amore, amora, pez amora, or amore, or something. So that's peace and love in Spanish. All right, guys. Fred or Dawn is what Andy said. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. We'll finish this live up. All right, guys. Good night.